Hey guys, Morgan's Maintenance. Today's tool reviews from one of my favorite brands, Knipex, and my good buddy Stefan had mentioned this tool to me multiple times, so I've been wanting to get my hand on it for a long time, and that's the Smartgrip 8501 250s. It's the auto-adjusting, basically, Cobra pliers. And I'd been wanting to get these, but the price tag on these is normally around $62 on Amazon, and that's just the normal price because you can go over to Home Depot, check it out, go anywhere else. That's typically what it's going to run you. But I put it in the Amazon wish list the first time that he recommended it to me because I thought, well, one of these days I'll probably end up getting that. But I like to scroll through there every now and then, see if they ever drop the prices. And sure enough, one day I found these for $46. Pulled the trigger, went ahead and had them come to my house because, see, normally you can get your Cobras, they're going to run you about 38 bucks. They're usually $36, $38, something like that. So to pay an extra third, I was like, well, I don't know about that. I don't know if I want to pay $60 because these perform really well. I don't really have any issues with these, so I didn't know if the advantage of these would make it worth it to me. Well, over me trying these out, I have found two places where I feel like these perform better, and then there's one place in which I like these a little bit better. So I'm going to share them with you today, and then ultimately it's up to you guys. How often do you run into certain situations? Is it worth paying the extra? But I'd also suggest if you would like a pair, put them in your list, watch them for a little while. Maybe the price will come down on them. That's what happened for me. So let's go ahead and get into these, and we'll just talk about them. What's the differences and what's the similarities? So again, from the face value, from if you just took and covered this up and looked right there, I've just got two pairs of Cobras basically. You know, these are going to perform exactly the same. So you're going to get the same teeth, the same grip. If you like it in your Cobra, you're going to like it in your Smartgrip. The big difference comes in with the push button versus the auto adjust. That's the main difference between the two. Now my Cobras have that textured grip on them, so it's kind of like a dip grip but textured. Versus the Smartgrip it's kind of like a hard plastic because it's not really the same as my standard dipped handles. They don't feel the same. This is the handles that I prefer on all my Knipex tools. This isn't exactly the same. It feels like it's a hard plastic, some kind of molding. Now it does have some grip surface on the top and also on the bottom side here. So you do get some grip on it. I don't think they offer these in the comfort grip and all those. I think this is pretty much the only way you're getting these is like this right here. So again, that's the one difference. If you're a comfort grip handle person or something like that, I don't think that they have these right now in any of those other versions. And then you get into the auto adjusting and the push button. Well, the auto adjusting obviously is you open this up here. This basically opens up all the way, and then as you close and grip on stuff, it's just going to basically move. You don't have to basically adjust it to some other size. And where that comes in handy is, basically you don't have to play guesswork at it. You don't have to guess, what size is this fastener. If I have it open, I just close down and I get it, and it's going to automatically go to however far I need it to go and get right on top of that. So it works really well with that versus that of the Cobra. I might think it's here, and no, it's not that. And then I might think it's here. Well, I have that, but now look how wide open my hands are. So it's going to obviously be somewhere in between. And, and I'm being a little bit funny about that. Obviously, most of you, if you've used these pliers very often, you kind of get a feel, especially if you work with the same materials over and over again, you kind of know where you're going, but still, it's still time. You're going to have to sit there and do that and get in a comfortable position with that. The second thing that I've noticed that makes the Smartgrip a little bit better, I don't know if you've run into this very often, but sometimes that push button gets in the way, and that's just not just Knipex, that's any of these pairs of pliers with that push button. You can see that sticks out there versus the Smartgrip. That's a whole little extra nub you have sticking out. And again, it doesn't come into play that often, but there's been situations where you're going in somewhere and you don't have a lot of room left and right. If I've got to get on that, you can see that push button actually holds me out some. And even especially if I'm trying to grab a hold of something in a tight spot, I might not can even get that in there. And I've even had it happen to me where while I was working on something, that push button pushed in, and then you kind of lose all you're no longer at that setting. So that comes into play sometimes. Again, not often, But how often does it happen to you is what you got to ask the question to make the decision on whether the Smartgrips is better or not for you. So that also holds you out at an angle versus a Smartgrip. I don't have that button. You know, I can get right in there right beside of it, and I no longer have to worry about that button being pushed in, all the things that go along with that. So that's the two big key differences to me as far as the advantages of it over the other, because again, it's still the same head, still the same teeth, but I no longer have to play guesswork on, you know, what size is this. It's just going to go up and it's going to grab that. Whatever the size is, that's what I'm going to. I'm just going to go to that size. That's what it's going to be. And then that push button not being in the way. Sometimes if you're sticking this in somewhere in the tight spot, that push button can be something that can get in your way every now and then. And that's just nice not to have it. The thing that I think that the Cobras is better at is the adjustability of it, because let's say I've got this piece of pipe and I use the Smartgrips. You know, it's going to grip until it grabs, but I kind of am stuck with, this is my hands, this is where it's got to be. I don't get to adjust. Maybe I want to still have that kind of grip, but I'd like these to be a little bit closer together. I don't have that option with the Smartgrips. It's just going to go until I catch whatever that is, and that's going to be on bigger stuff is where you're going to have that issue, versus if I take the Knipex Cobra, you know, I could have it smaller like this and have it, and it's definitely wider there. Well, I can keep working it until I get to whatever position I want to be in. That's a little bit similar to what my Smartgrip was a second ago. It's maybe a little bit closer, but I could even go a little bit wider than that if I want to, and maybe still grip onto it, but also have my handle's just a whole lot closer together than that is Smartgrip. You can see my thumb is touching past my fingernail there, versus if I take the Smartgrip and put it on, you know, I'm a whole fingernail length difference between the two. So it's a little bit harder for me to keep constant pressure on that versus being able to use the Cobra that's also still adjustable. But again, I think that they're worth it if you can get a good price on them. The features of it is really nice. That auto adjusting is pretty sweet to stick it in somewhere. You know, if it's a tight spot and you don't want to have to sit there and stick something in 2 or 3 times to try to get the best adjustment on it, I think that that's really nice, and you got a little bit lower profile without that button, so that's a good feature as well. The only downside to me, biggest thing, is the 10-inch size, is because the 180s, these 8701 180s, I think they're 7 1/4 or something like that. This is my most used size, so I'd like to see them come out with a pair of these in that size. I think that the 10-inch is all they've got right now. Maybe they'll come out with some more later, because I really prefer this size 90% of the time. I mean, these open up extremely wide. You can get on a whole lot of things with this size right here and not have to carry around those big 10-inch ones, and be able to get on all the things that you need to. It's, at least for me, you know, some of you have to have 10-inch ones. Some of you probably got to have some 12s and even bigger than that. But that's the Knipex Smartgrip auto adjusting. I think they're just called pliers, but I think, or water pump pliers, but I'm calling them the auto adjusting Cobras 8501 250s. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about them. Let me know if you've got them, what you think about them, and if you've got both pairs, help us out down below. Don't just take my opinion for it, give your opinion. If you could only pick one, which one would you take out of the two if you own both pairs and you've been using both of them? Let us know that in the comments below as well. But I hope that this was useful. Hope you stay safe. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you on the next video.